Our story sounds made up, but to cite a familiar saying, the truth is often stranger than fiction. In our case, it's better. In early July of 2012, a friend told me about a volunteer opportunity to paint a piano that would be auctioned for a fundraiser to benefit a local school. She knew I was always looking for something to keep myself busy. Having grown up in Vancouver, Washington, I was very familiar with the school. It was nicknamed the Piano Hospital because it was a repair business. It was also unique because the students who attended all had one thing in common. They were blind. This day, I was painting a small spinet piano, which happened to be blocking the doorway to a classroom. As far as I knew, I was the only person in the whole school, other than a couple administrative folks on the other side of the building. I heard some shuffling and looked up to see a tall man with a white cane bump into the side of the piano and place his hand on top of it, smack dab into wet paint I had applied to the instrument. I was a little embarrassed and could tell he was too. He held his hand up, smiling, and asked, "Did I do much damage?" Luckily, the paint had been drying for a bit, so there wasn't much on his hand. He had a beautiful smile with big dimples, and his eyes were totally closed. I apologized and stood up from the floor where I'd been working. Putting my own paint-covered hand out to shake his, I smiled and waited. And then it dawned on me. He couldn't see my hand hovering in the air in anticipation. So, a little too loudly, I said, "My name is Annie." He chuckled. "I'm John. Nice to meet you." He wiped his hand on his khaki carpenter pants just in case there was paint on it. It's funny to look back all these years later and see how this was a perfect meet-cute, like we were starring in our very own rom-com. "Are you working in here? I can find another place if it's too crowded." I was a little nervous, and my voice shook as I replied, "No, it's okay. The more the merrier. Would be nice to have some company. It gets a little quiet around here during the summer." I looked behind me, realizing he had a workstation already set up nearby. John glided past me gracefully, using his white cane to navigate the tight space of the classroom,